Hey guys, we're back. Okay, well, so I've talked about chi, material force, matter force, and the implications of that. I've talked about Tao. There's actually one other thing I would like to say about the concept of Tao. Um, in addition to it being this dynamic totality, in addition to it being this instant, this momentary instantaneousness, and in addition to it being inexpressible, because the only way in which it can be expressed is in the instant which it is, it sort of creates its own reality by virtue of being this totality of chi. The one last thing that I would say about this is that in order to know what Tao is, in order to know Tao, the subject of so much of the DaodeChing, is to participate in it. Now, the reason for that is that there is absolutely no way in which to abstract Tao from itself. There's no way in which you can extract darkness from a shadow, just the same there's no way in which you can extract the event from the event, the doing from the doing, the being from the being, right? There's no way to take the way of being out of the way of being. Tao isn't known in terms of abstracts and categories because those abstracts and categories have to be part of Tao in order to be in the first place, don't they? They require this. So how do we know it? What does it even mean to know about Tao? The way we know of Tao is to participate in it. The way we know about Tao is by virtue of being able to, and this is a phrase I'll probably use a few different times in these little lectures of ours, by virtue of being able to evoke creative self-disclosure within things. Now, what do I mean by that? Evoking creative self-disclosure within something. Well, you know, evoking means to call out, right? To call forth. That's literally what it is. I don't mean necessarily verbally call out, but I mean put oneself present in such a way as to draw the thing forth, to act, to be, to present in such a way, right? To make the thing rise up. Creative in the sense of being generative, being able to make, being able to do, being able to be novel, being able to allow the energy of the thing as it is to express in its own nature, right? Without interfering, getting in the way of it. And then self-disclosure, again, I suppose, being in its revealing its own character. So the way in which one knows Tao, and indeed the way in which one knows Qi within Tao, for the Tao Te Ching, doesn't come from abstraction. It doesn't really come exactly from logic. It comes from participating, from doing, from being present to a thing, right? Being able to be present to it in such a fashion that you evoke the creative self-disclosure, the Tao of the thing in its presence. You allow it to be the way it is. This is a difficult concept to get at, but I think that I can think of two examples of ways of thinking about knowing in this Taoist sense that might be helpful. One way is the way in which a friend knows how to be a friend. I think I might have given some explanation like this earlier on when I was talking about Confucianism, but it comes out just as much, maybe in some ways even more so with Taoism. The way in which a friend knows how to be a friend to someone is not by virtue of them having a little handbook on friends or having a code book on what this person likes and doesn't like. I mean, if nothing else, you don't have a friend then. You've got a robot or a blind e-date or something, right? The way in which a friend knows how to be a friend is by knowing how to be with them. And not just abstractly, not knowing just that they like these things. I suppose that informs it, but they know how to be spontaneous, how to invite a conversation, how to open up, how to set back and listen when the person needs to speak, how to give advice when they need to give advice, how to take advice, how to have fun, how to do all these things. They know how to be in the event of friendship, with the other one. This isn't an abstraction. This is a participation. I'll give you a second example too that might help with this. It's a bit corny, I think, in some ways, but it really does get the idea across. It's the way in which a surfer knows how to surf. Now, what I mean by that is that if you think about what is involved in surfing, you go out into the water, you take this plank of wood, and then you wait. And what you wait for is a wave of energy to pass through the water. And when this wave of energy passes through the water, what you do is you acclimate yourself to be able to become an expression, a creative expression on this wave of energy. You're able to, as the surfers like to say, carve up the wave, right? Not because of anything exactly that you're doing. You're borrowing the energy, literally, of the wave, right? You're lifting yourself up and moving along with it. But you know how to take that energy. You know how to take that way of being that is the wave and acclimate yourself in such a fashion that you invite a certain creativity, a creativity called surfing, to find expression through you from the energy, from the being, from the chi of that wave. Well, in the same way that the surfer knows how to surf in that way, not by abstraction, but by knowing how to be in the energy and the presence of the wave, so it is that one who understands Tao, the sage in the DaodeChing that gets mentioned here, is someone who knows how to be present to this energy of anything in such a fashion that it can find this expression. Now, this is a tricky thing, and clearly it's something that is, like I said, somewhat counterintuitive. But why is it counterintuitive? What's so difficult about it? What's so hard about this? Well, I think it's this. There is a concept within the DaodeChing and in Taoism generally called interference. If you want the Chinese for it, it's pull, but you can just call it interference. And basically what it is this. When the DaodeChing talks about interference, what it's talking about is the way in which the human mind and human activity, what shall we say, presuppose, plan, force, try to find some way to make something be a particular way. When you expect something to be a certain way, when you plan on something to be a certain way, what do? You superimpose a set of actions, a way in which this thing must be, right? You interfere, and in doing this, you interfere with the chi that is the thing. You're no longer talking about the thing that you were dealing with. You're talking about your own mind's idea of what this thing is, which whatever else it is, ain't the thing, right? It's your own structures, your own ideas, your own limitations, your own superimpositions, your own shadows that you're treating as though they are real things. This is called interference, and or po in the DaodeChing. And you can see within this cosmology, within this way of thinking, it's something that gets very much in the way of what we're talking about with this. Now, how does one overcome interference? The way in which one overcomes interference is through what is called in the DaodeChing forgetfulness, Wang, I feel like. And when we talk about forgetfulness, it's not forgetfulness in the sense of, well, where did I put my keys forgetfulness? It's forgetfulness in the sense of forgetting these presuppositions, forgetting the things that you bring in, forgetting the way something is supposed to be or should be or what you would like. Rather, it's a way of being with the energy of the thing, this instant of the totality of things, the Tao of the thing, that moment of its being, right? Being present to it as it is, as it expresses in this chi at once. It is only by, and this is one of the ways in which it sounds mysterious, but really it's more just a matter of a paradox. It's only by forgetting, by this forgetfulness, specifically forgetting these presuppositions, that we can actually come to understand, to know something. It's by forgetting that we, mysterious, remember it. Because it's by really what it is. It's by forgetting that we allow it to be what it is, by which we remember to put ourselves in a position where we become a conduit for the possibilities of this thing, this chi, being what it is. And if you ask, well, how do we do this? Where does this come out? This is where this famous phrase, wei wu wei, comes in. Action through inaction. More on this in a second. We're running out of time.